welcome back to our Step to Med YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today, and today we're going to go through how to organise and secure work experience and make the most of it. Work experience is one of the most fundamental and important part of your application to medicine. It allows you to experience the field that you're considering, but also allows you to show your commitment to medicine to admissions tutors and write about this in your personal statement and discuss this at your interview. So it is incredibly important. Understandably, during the pandemic, it has been difficult for students to get work experience, but also work experience doesn't have to be just in-person work. It can be voluntary work at a related healthcare setting, or it can be virtual work experience. And medical schools and admissions tutors are well aware of this. So we're going to go through both in-person work experience and virtual work experience and how to organise and secure these. So, what kind of work experience should you really consider when applying to medicine and getting a feel for this specialty? Lots of people think that actually you need weeks on weeks of work shadowing, or you need to be shadowing the top surgeon in one of the best hospitals in our country. Actually, you really don't. What you need to do is any form of your work shadowing needs to provide some sort of insight so that you can see what a doctor does in their daily life. You can talk to them about the struggles of the jobs, but also how enjoyable it can be. What's also important is you show a deeper reflection on any work experience you do. That's what admissions tutors actually value in your personal statement and as a talking point at interview. So try and do a variety. Maybe spend a week at a pharmacy and see that aspect of healthcare. Perhaps spend a week at a general practice and a couple of days at hospital, and contrast and compare those different types of doctors. So actually that shows a deeper, more mature reflection into your work shadowing. Another thing to bear in mind to show your commitment to medicine and also your stamina is some long-term volunteering work, whether that is something such as what I did, which was working at a coffee shop at a local hospital in the maternity unit, where I interacted with lots of patients and I kept up a weekly Friday evening voluntary job. Or you could volunteer at a bookstore or a charity or a care home, wherever you enjoy and you can get into. It shows that you actually have some dedication and commitment to keep going and doing something weekly. And actually you learn a lot from that. So that could bode really well in your applications. So you may be thinking, how do I get work experience? And it can be challenging, especially due to the global pandemic. Let's go through how to get some in-person work experience and our tips and tricks for that, and then we'll go through how to make the most of those virtual work shadowing opportunities available. So the first thing you can do is think about if you've come across any doctors, maybe at a practice that you've been to, and if they can either take you on or put you in touch with someone. Contact them, send them an email, send them a letter, or go in person and talk to your local GP and see if they can sort something out for you. Also, make sure you contact your school. Often they might have a work experience lead and they can therefore put you in touch with someone. Now, if you came from a family like me who actually didn't have many contacts, I helped out in a local charity and they had doctors that were related to that charity, and so I kind of made the link from there. But that's another way you could do this. Other ways are to send a letter, your CV, and a covering letter too with this. We've got templates of this online on our website and you can completely download them, edit your name and where you're applying to, and then send this off. You can download them for absolutely free, and what's really important is that you email this alongside your CV and your interest in medicine, because it shows that you actually want to engage with the profession a lot more. What you can also do is once this has been secured, follow this up with a thank you email. It helps to keep in contact, and also you might need them for a reference in the future. So make sure you download them from our website. The next most important thing to consider is how are you going to develop an insight through this work experience. Make sure you download our work experience logbooks. We've made a template and also an empty blank version for you to fill in. There's a guide on how to fill it in, but it is basically noting down as you go along the different experiences you see, the skills that you witness a doctor has, the attributes they have, a particularly empathetic moment maybe you saw, All of this should be listed as you're doing your work experience so you don't forget it at the end. But also there's a section for reflection, and this will really help you to gain a deeper insight into your work experience on how it actually made you feel. So be sure to download this again from our work experience section in our website. Understandably, a lot has changed due to the global pandemic, and admissions tutors are well aware of that. So we've got lots of things you could consider during this time. The first thing is to keep a reflective diary of things that are happening in the media. For example, the changes in the NHS and how we've reacted to COVID-19, the rise of vaccines for it and the trials involved in that. Keep up to date and reflect on this. Download our COVID-19 edition of our logbook from our work experience section to help you deeply reflect on these situations. Moreover, what's really important is to have an insight into our profession. So lots of nurses and doctors are doing vlogs on social media, or they're writing blogs about their journey through the coronavirus pandemic. Have a read of these, watch these and reflect on them. Reflecting on documentaries and webinars and vlogs such as this is a type of virtual work experience and is something that can form a talking point in your personal statement or in your interview, because admissions tutors know that you're trying to widen the scope of how you're gathering your insight. So ensure that you do access these. Now, Step2Med are also aware of this, so we're running lots of webinars where you can literally talk to doctors and dentists who are on our panel and ask them how they find our jobs, how they're finding the struggles during the pandemic, and what's our daily life like. We're also running an In the Life series. If you've missed it, you can go back to our Instagram and catch up on these, or on our website, because it's articles from dental students, medical students, doctors, dentists about our daily life to provide you that virtual insight. Have a read of these articles and watch the videos on our YouTube channel, because this is an element of virtual experience and insight for you. The Medical Schools Council released some updated guidance on work experience in April 2020. Essentially, it goes to how to make the best of the situation, but also informing students and really reassuring them that admissions tutors are well aware of the current situation. We know it's difficult for you to get work experience. So we've summarised their guidance and tried to add our own tips and tricks too. Essentially, they say 1. To keep a reflective diary. Now that's where our COVID-19 edition of our logbook that I briefly mentioned earlier comes into play. You can download this from our work experience section, and it goes through how to reflect on what you're seeing in the media, or if you're attending any webinars, and how to really gain your insight from this and fill the table in as you go along. The next thing they also recommend is to volunteer if you can. Now the NHS would actually value lots of volunteers. We've got a whole list of websites that you can go through and try and go through the central online NHS volunteering platform and fill in your details if you'd like to do that. Lastly, it's about using online resources. Now, the Royal College of GPs have put together a fantastic resource. It's called Observe GP. It's an online platform to witness work experience at a general practice virtually. So it's so accessible and has already opened up a month ago. This is something you should really check out. The other thing you could do is attend those webinars, listen to some vlogs, but also speak to different healthcare professionals. Understanding the views of different healthcare professionals is actually a valuable insight into how the team operates, and this is crucial to good patient-centred care. Lastly, our articles have also gone through the top 5 book recommendations for aspiring medics. Again, these top 5 book recommendations have been written by authors who are either doctors before or have had some insight into life as a medical professional. So it would be really useful for you to have a read on, reflect on, and also mention in your personal statements if it had an effect on you or you formed an opinion on it. They're super important in forming your overall decision, so have a read of these. For any more information, please visit www.step2med.co.uk go to our work experience tab, download our free articles and our guidance on work experience, download that cover letter I mentioned, but also a template for the logbooks, both the in-person work experience but the COVID-19 edition, and be sure to watch our further videos on how to make the most of your work experience and reflect on it effectively. We've also got lots of articles on our website. Subscribe below, follow @StepToMed on our social media handles, as well as emailing us on hello@steptomed.co.uk if you have any questions, and we'll try our best to help you out.